October 17th. It is about 55 degrees right now. So the bees are out and flying, which is good. I'm going to do a couple things this morning. Yeah, lots of good activity. I'm going to look in the bottom trays to see what kind of drop that we're seeing. I'm going to look through the inner covers. And I think I'm going to look at it with a thermal image camera. I know it's like 50 out here, but the inside should still be warm enough that it could be throwing off some heat. Just kind of curious of what that's looking like even on warmer days. And probably go ahead and show you some hive temperatures. All right, trying something a little different here. This allows the camera overlay too, so it's using two different lenses so they don't properly overlap, so it does a picture up in the corner. But there's a black strap right there. It's a little bit warmer, a couple degrees cooler. You can see the bees as they come out. Quite warm. I think DC just showed this recently, how warm these guys are. 65 degrees there. And this is our control hive. You can see too tight of a cluster. You can see where they are in that box though. Black strap warming up to that solar gain. You can see the cluster is still down low in this box, below the insulation part. Just trying to go on there. Probably a good way to get stung here. That cluster actually seems kind of high. Let's see what they look like a little bit. And let's get out of here before we get stung. This hive. So that cluster was down here. Looks like it's loosened up. Coming up here, maybe we'll get some stores and bringing it down. A lot of heat on the south side of this box. Not sure if that's all sun. It's 64 degrees on the surface, so that's pretty warm. This box is about the same. South face. There's a lot of clustering up near the front of this box. Let's look at that from a little further out just to compare the three. The cluster's a little bit lower in the front. So just like the hive stand's about 54 degrees, 58. This tree's about 58. About 58 degrees. So. Again, the center point shows a temperature, and the high and low sort of bounce around the screen where they're locking in. I'm actually going to look through these bottom boards in kind of the reverse order that they're in. The small hive beetles are dying. That's good. So either we've seen in the past, the oxalic acid vaporization kind of gets them all stirred up. And when they get stirred up, the bees can drive them out all the way, or it's cold enough that they're driven out of the cluster. But you can see a fair amount of uncapping is happening. And the little darker dots there are water from condensation. That's happening right here, these three. And then we have been doing oxalic acid treatment. We've done it in this hive once this month. And we'll do another one, I think Sunday will be a good day to do it. Saturday is actually the solstice. It's usually, theoretically, when there's the least amount of brood. We're looking through the inner covers. They're in there, doing their thing. So all the hives at this point in fall are still alive. Feels like it should be winter, but winter doesn't start until, I think, Saturday, so the solstice. All right, this is the next hive in the line. Looks like they're mostly on that right side. Interesting, because the heat looked like it was on the left. So I am seeing this clear, this clear, not this. This is probably just cleaner oil. Well, maybe it was. You can see where the clear is. That's water. So there's condensation happening in this hive. It happens. It's all part of it. It's just you get to see it more when you have these oil trays. There's no insulation on this hive, so this is kind of sort of a control for us as well to see what we're seeing in here versus what we're going to see in some of the other hives. It's interesting, the a little bit darker there, almost like honey or something came out. Some hive beetles. Again, I don't see a lot of mites. I don't see any mites, honestly. That one had a medium on it, so I just pulled the whole medium and the top off, so junk insulation. Wow, a lot of bees in there too. Sorry, the best way to get rid of that reflection. Helps a little bit, but it's going about their business. Every once in a while, I'll see a queen up here. Pretty rare. I've only seen 2, I think, total this year, and one was when it was colder out. I think I was actually the one I was doing an oxalic acid treatment. She was at the top. I had a little retinue around her, cleaning her off. All right, this is the next hive. Well, their cluster looks like it's more towards the middle, what I'm seeing here. And again, the clear is water, condensation. That's where we saw that heat on the left side. So maybe the cluster is over here and they're coming over here and eating honey stores. That's probably more likely what it is. And some more small hive beetles. It's good that they're down here. I do see my first mite, but I only see one, so that's kind of where we want to be this time of year. Get it as low as possible, so that going into the next year, in the spring, the numbers will be low. Be off to a good start. This one has a lot of bees coming and going, so I expect to see this bustling. Yeah, there's bees in there, and they're all moving around and doing whatever their job is this time of year. This is our, we call this Nuke 17, but it's the only one that's set up as actually as a nuke right now. Getting small hive beetles dead down here, that's good. Oh, goodness, don't want to lose that. Doing this with one hand is tricky. So I do see some mites in here. So we have been doing oxalic acid. It was done just a few days ago, so again, this is about the time they should be close to the broodless. The most broodless anyways. Still seeing some condensation occurring. Hard for me to see here. And there's a couple bees up here patrolling. This is pretty high up in this nuke. I mean, this thing is giant. This is way bigger than it probably should be. But it's got a super +3. And we saw the cluster mainly in the bottom, but earlier today we saw it sort of spreading to the top. So hopefully the bees are patrolling, taking care of any potential pests that are up there. Here's our next bottom board. You can see a lot of water here. Through here, a little bit of small hive beetles and some cappings. I'm guessing that's mostly honey this time of year. I do see some mites in here. Again, that's why we're doing that treatment this time of year. Hopefully get a lot of them that are exposed. On to the next one. This is just a nuke. Hey, you know, last time I looked in here, there was nothing. They were further down, but and maybe they're still further down. They're just coming up here now that it's warmer, so they can patrol their hive and also maybe pull some resources down closer. All right, this is Hive 7. Just noting this because we do have broodminder information that we can show along with this. A little bit of condensation, not a ton. Some along the back. Small hive beetles. Some mites. Most of the activity on that left side there. That's fine. And a lot of bees out here. So this is the one that's not insulated. This is our control. There's bees up there. This is 6. So we do have some condensation occurring. Making it down to the bottom boards. Small hive beetles. Most of the uncappings on the left side of the hive there, which is the north side. These are facing east. This is hive 6. Went ahead and pulled the outside cover so I can do this in one take. There's some bees up there, not a ton, but they are active. This is hive 5. It is triple deep. Top 2 are insulated, the bottom ones are not. We saw the cluster mostly over here. You can actually feel the heat. So we got small hive beetles in here that are dead. Got some mites in here. And most of the activity is on the left side, the north side again. That's what our little thermal imaging camera showed us as well. All right, this is hive 5. First look inside. Oh wow, it's stuck down. Fair amount of bees up there, and they're active. This is the triple deep as well, so that's gonna be a monster. This is hive 4. There's not a lot of bees in it. I would expect it to have a fair amount of condensation. There's some in here. Some small hive beetles. There's a big old pool of water up there at the front. The reason it looks black is because when the water gets in there and there's a little bit of oil, it allows that to get a little moldy in that little spot, but it's easy to clean that out. Yeah, most of the activity's on the left side of that hive, which is the west side of this hive. So it's mostly cappings. There's hive 4. Another thing, if I can switch over to that style hive, I don't have to take these off to sync all my sensors and all that, so that'd be nice. Yeah, good number of bees in here too. I think things look pretty good. Right, back to hive 3. This tray seems to be a little taller than the other ones. I actually swapped this for a different one when I was cleaning the oil out. Don't need to do that. I probably need to just put that tray back in here, but there's little metal pieces on the bottom. They could be bent to adjust to these trays. I didn't realize that there'd be a little bit of variance. Wow, okay. I don't see much condensation here, but I see a ton of mites. Again, this one was not treated, and we saw like 7 with a natural drop. So that oxalic acid, I'm pretty sure I did a video of this, so you guys probably saw this as well. It hit them hard. There are a lot of mites in there. Yikes, small hive beetles too. So these are definitely getting, actually, they received their second treatment Saturday. So you saw the first treatment. That was the second treatment, so it has to get a little tight. I think the metal at the end is just bent down a little bit. Anyways, and they'll be getting a third treatment and maybe even a 4th treatment. I'm not going to clean that oil probably till beginning of January, and then I'll check my counts again. If anything continues to have mites, then I can continue to treat in January. But this is really prime time right now. This is our Hive 3, entirely licensed hive. A little bit of condensation in this corner. Not much besides the edges everywhere else. This is a newer inner cover. Everything's so perfectly clear. Actually, you're getting a glare. Sorry. Let me try that again. You can see what's in there. A lot of bees. Mostly clustered in the middle. This is 2 that we're looking at now. Seeing some condensation on the right hand side. Some of this is, the oil doesn't go all the way up there because of the way it's twisted. Very small amount of uncapping. Hopefully they're okay. And the bottom of this is wood, and this is the license rest the way up. There's a gasket in there. This is Hive 2. These in there seem to be doing just fine. Not a lot in here. I mean, there's more than this Hive 1.5, but there's definitely less than Hive 1. This is 1.5. I think I need to use 2 hands for this. Give me a second. Now, this is used. This oil's been used a couple times. That's why it's a little bit darker yellow. It's nothing to do with the hive there, but you can see the condensation a little bit more. Again, this is not insulated. Not a ton of condensation. Actually, getting a little bit more in those hives, but I think that's the purpose, as long as you can control where that condensation is. And the cluster looks like it's pretty much dead center, or at least what they're on capping is dead center. I do see some mites, and I do see small hive beetles. So, and they were hit with oxalic acid last Saturday, and I think the weather's going to be good for doing it again either Saturday or Sunday this coming weekend. Saturday is the solstice. That's really where we want to hit, and I'm going to try to actually also do it the week following. So we'll get it hit 3 times with hopefully the reduced amount of brood in here. This is our Hive 1.5. For the first time. Still haven't insulated that, or propolized that whole center piece yet. I think most of the bees are over here on the left side. If I can block that so you don't have a glare. They're in there, they're active. Don't see a ton. I should have pushed that in further. This is Hive 1. Again, this is some used oil too. I filter it and reuse it as many times as I can. Once it gets too dark, you can't reuse it though. It just kind of gets nasty. Again, we got condensation on that side, and you can actually see right where all the frames were. They're reusing quite a bit of this space. So there's not just one cluster, it's much bigger. Maybe because it's insulated, so the temperature's warmer in there. All right, we'll get this is Hive 1. We're gonna get this first look together. Oh man. Let's just knock this one in good. There it is. Wow. There are a lot of bees in here. I'm actually putting nectar back in that. Man, that looks incredible. Quite a bit of heat. My battery's low on my phone, so I had to stop and charge it, but it's 59 degrees now. A lot more activity on these hives. All those bees. So the uninsulated one seems to be flying more than the insulated one, but some of those are hit and miss too. So like that one's not flying all that much. That one's not flying much at all. don't have a huge sample size, so it's kind of hard to really get an idea. Yeah, I mean, that insulated one is flying like crazy. See those or not? Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.